So I've been in TV a long time, and the NFL's been in TV a lot longer than I have. They front load the schedule. And the reason they do this is because the fall weather in September and early October in America is absolutely beautiful. And so a lot of people, I'm one of them, I don't want to go back inside and watch TV, but I'm a sportscaster. It's what I do for a living. But to get people in Chicago and San Francisco and Philly and New York back into the house in September and October when the weather's wonderful, you front load the schedule with big games. Everybody organically comes back into the house Thanksgiving, December, January, February because the weather stinks, right? And so in a lot of the country, the ratings surge because now everybody's in the house. But so they front load the schedule to put big marquee games up in September and October to get you back in the house. They've been in this TV business for a long time. It works, and the NFL front loads their schedule. But boy, I'll tell you what, the Jets took the brunt of it. This is what happens. Be careful what you wish for. You want a star quarterback since Joe Namath, you haven't had one? You got one. And this is what you get. And I always say, the schedule, I know who you play, but when you play them, does absolutely, in my opinion, change how I view you by a game or two. The Jets, with a bunch of young players, if Zach Wilson's the quarterback, this is not the schedule. Bills at the Cowboys, Patriots, Mahomes, Denver, Sean Payton, Russell, Eagles, bye. Yeah, bye, like bye-bye. That's brutal. And again, if Zach Wilson's the quarterback, that's not the schedule. That's not the schedule. You do this because Aaron's a star quarterback. He is polarizing. And by the way, where it really hurts them is go look at Miami's schedule. Because I see these teams as 9 or 10 win teams. But I look at that schedule, and I think the Jets win one less game than I thought due to that. I think the Dolphins win one more game than I thought due to theirs. The Dolphins do their longest road trip of the year in week 1. The league does them a favor in L.A. They get it right out of the way. Then they get both the Patriots and the Bills, their primary rivals. Those could be awful winter road games. They get them done by October 1st. And then from December 3rd, when they play the Commanders, that's an afternoon game on Fox. The minute that game is over, they get on a plane. They, for the next 34 days, are in Miami all but 2 days. They'll fly up the day before to face Baltimore December 30th, and they'll play them the 31st and get back. 28 to 33 days or something like that in your home state, at home, comfortable. That is a favorable schedule. And the fact that they're in the same division and about equally talented, that to me is the difference between if Tua is healthy, putting Miami second and the Jets third. Now, the Jets could still get as a wild card, but that is where schedules matter. You got Aaron Rodgers, who can be prickly, doesn't love criticism. He's got young kids. You could have easily put the Eagles later. You could have put the Bills later. They got the Cowboys on a short week. The other thing is now you've got all these television games for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Oh, I love that. Players hate it. Peyton Manning hated that because football players, as a rule, they like routine. They like habits. Peyton Manning hated the double halftime in the playoff games, the long pre-games. He had a routine. Most quarterbacks do. And so now they're going to be on 6 standalone games. That is not good. So when I look at the Jets and the Dolphins, that is exactly. Now, when Russell Wilson was a Bronco last year for the first time, you also saw a little bit of this where they started on Monday Night Football like the Jets. Remember the Seahawks? And then week 3, they were on Sunday Night Football. And then week 6, they were on Monday night again because of Russell Wilson. They front-loaded that schedule too, but it didn't look anything like this. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Belichick, Mahomes, Russell Wilson now with a Hall of Fame coach, and Jalen Hurts in that offense? That is insane. Now, if you can go 3-3, you should be overjoyed. And they may do that. But if you look at the Dolphins' schedule, there's no question they get small benefits. The end of the season, they're at home. They get the New England Buffalo games without the bad weather. They get their long road trip, right? Their long domestic road trip out week 1. It all helps. Inches, not feet. And that's the difference to me between the Dolphins winning 10, not 9, and maybe the Jets winning 9, not 10. Let me just talk briefly about the Sixers' meltdown last night. So we said yesterday on the show, I don't trust Philadelphia. And I've been on this all year. Love Philadelphia. I've watched more Philadelphia than I have every team in the league except the Lakers and the Warriors. I love Embiid, Harden, Maxey, Doc, Alpha, Crowd, Rowdy. I love Philadelphia. but I can love something and not trust it. Right? I love Philly. I don't trust them. And they've become the Kirk Cousins of the NBA. The brighter the lights, the more they shrink. Because they have all sorts of people with bad playoff history. Doc Rivers has lost a couple of 3-1 series leads. Harden historically gags in the playoffs. And now Joel Embiid's never made a conference final. Now, it's only Game 6 last night. They have one more chance. They're not beating Boston in Boston. You know they're not. And I said all season long, I love this team. I love watching this team play. All sorts of flash and fun and ego and alpha. But Doc Rivers' teams now are on an 8-game losing streak in games in which they can clinch a conference final. 0-8. And yesterday I picked the Celtics by 4 or 5. I said they're going to take control of this thing, and what do you know they did? And think about this. Think about this. You're at home. It's going to be the biggest, loudest, most lubricated crowd of the year. You got a 3-2 series lead. You got a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and their star player, their star, Jason Tatum, misses 13 of his first 14 shots. And you are so unprepared, you trail by 7 at half. I mean, when Kobe was in his prime and you played the Lakers, if he missed 13 of his first 14 shots, you damn well better lead at half. They trailed at half. They weren't ready to play. And now you saw Harden and Joel Embiid walking up that floor late. Now you wonder, as you head to a Game 7, is there dissension in the ranks?
We stopped moving the ball, and I don't think I touched the ball the last 4 minutes of the game. I got to be, more demanding, but kind of went away from what was working at the beginning of that fourth quarter. As a big, it's hard to, go get the ball and, just create, for yourself. I just got to go get it.
Not good. I'll also throw this out. There are times, I know he's the MVP, there are times when Harden and Embiid are both on the floor, the ball dies. Embiid early in the game, give him the ball. Bro, turn and drive or turn and shoot. Don't kill the rhythm of the offense. Sometimes when you get Harden, who over-dribbles, and Embiid, who pauses, herks and jerks a bit too much before shirting, you just kill. It's like the opposite of the Warriors. It just dies. There are times I think they're actually, and the net rating proves it, better with him off the floor in tight situations. The ball movement's better. So I like the Boston Celtics to eventually win this thing. Good game by Tatum. I'll discuss that later on. So a lot of stuff on the schedule. I got to tell you something.